of the same moment in time. Why? Why? For example, one of your friends posted, obviously won't name them, was in a winter destination. It was in Canada, and there was the same
Yeah.
snowy scenery with the mountains. And I don't understand why. Okay, I get it. 2, maybe 3, but it's the same continuous scene. It's the same continuous place. It's just redundant. Why do you think that anybody wants to see 20 or 30 or 40, much less even like 10 of the same thing? I don't know. Send me 1 or 2. Okay, I'm in Banff. I'm in Calgary. I'm at the Lake Louise. And then, okay, great. 1 or 2 pictures or 1 or 2 videos. Awesome. And it's the same video over and over and over with slightly different angles. But I don't see anything different from the angles. Yeah, the other one I do since Rowan.
Yeah,
the other one.
yeah, travel full pass. Give it to us.
Well,
give it to us.
I don't understand why people take pictures of their food. I don't get it. I don't understand the
Babe,
pictures
but
of
I
food.
do that.
I know, and I don't like it that you do that. I think it's annoying.
No, you're telling me.
Because I want to eat when they bring me the food, and then I have to wait until you take the perfect picture. Because not just any picture, it has to be perfectly centered. So I have this whole...
Oh, perfectly centered.
I have this nice steak with some nice sides, and I have to wait until it's posted so everybody else knows what I'm eating. I don't think anybody cares what I'm eating. I would rather advertise the establishment, the restaurant that we're at.
Babe, we tag the restaurant every
We do, but why do people
time.
have to see the steak? We all know what a steak looks like. We all know what pasta or fish, or unless it's something unique, like you go to a unique exotic destination. Let's go something crazy. Let's go to Timbuktu or to Kathmandu in Nepal, and they have a specific dish, or in Vietnam or something where you don't get it back home. Where this is unique to this place, to this culture, to this. I get that because you don't see that back home. But if you commonplace dishes, I don't see why people would even want to look at that. I don't understand that.
What is another travel faux pas?
The girls taking pictures of their feet on the beach with their legs.
Yeah, you don't like that. You don't like that. Okay, we already went over that one. What else don't you like? Oh, you don't. Oh, you always have issues with people in airplanes. Oh my God. Like he has to get in an airplane and put his luggage up first. Like he can't wait on anybody. Oh, we just started doing carry-on, Jamal. Like we've never done carry-on
over the
before,
last 2 years, we started doing carry-on. We got tired of waiting for the luggage. As we've gotten older, I have become much less patient for absolutely anything. I am very impatient. So we did the whole carry-on, and that shit's working now. It's fantastic, but the only downside is you got to be the first ones on the plane because everyone's fighting for that carry-on space, right?
Something
I don't mind doing that at all. That's an issue that you have, not me.
Gosh, he's like,
I
need to push these people on the side because they're gonna try to take my spot, and let's go get in line because if we don't get in line first, and we're not gonna get our luggage up.
I think that people need to have a more of an efficient process of getting on the plane. You've been on the plane, you know how it works. Don't start getting stuff out of your bag when you're getting at the seat. Don't start pulling your iPad out, your laptop out, your book out. Have all that a little bit on the side. In your other hand, throw it on the seat, put your bag up there, sit down, and let the line keep moving so we can get the plane closed, the cabin locked, the pilot can move the plane back, and that's it, and we can get on the road. People start messing around with their bags. They start pulling stuff out. They keep forgetting stuff in their bags.
Oh, some guy almost didn't let Rusk put something up on the overhead bin, and Rusk was about to just like fucking lose it on this guy.
Yeah, that was actually on the last flight on the way back home from San Juan. We were.
And I have to give you that look, honey. And I think that's something that happens after 20 years.
Yeah.
I give you that look where like, stop, please do not engage with this guy because I do not want to be kicked off of this flight. I don't want to be kicked off of a flight because you engaged on somebody that was rude and nasty to you.
Well, I didn't.
Because that guy, Jamal, the guy looked back at Rusk and said, do you have a problem?
Yep.
Like very like...
Yep. Well, the story
nasty.
was we were getting on the plane and the guy closed the overhead cabin that we were both kind of sharing because he was in the row in front of us. We were in the row behind him, and there was still room for our bag. But I kind of caught it from the side of my eye, so I didn't make a big deal out of it at the moment. I just put my bag on the other side in the overhead cabin. Closed the overhead cabin, sat down, he gives me a funky look. A couple of minutes later, another passenger gets on, and all the cabins are now full except for the one that he closed prematurely.
Yeah.
And so she's looking for a bag. She's looking for a space to put her bag. So I said, there's actually space up here. So I open it for her. I help her put the bag up.
Ooh.
And that's when he looks back at me and he
Mhm.
says, don't move my bag. It has to be parallel. It can't be perpendicular, which it could. I looked at it. It wasn't that big. But I didn't say anything to him. I just pushed the little handbag that he had next to it and shoved it in there. And then he decides to close it for me. I wasn't even finished.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I
yeah.
sat down, I looked at him, and he goes, you got a problem? I said, no, we have no problem, man. I said, I'm just trying to help the lady out to put the bag in. There was still some room, and you closed it. About an hour goes by into the flight, and then he accuses you of kicking his seat.
Kicking his seat.
I mean, we were sitting in first class, so there was at least a good 3 feet for your legs. Not 3 feet, I'm exaggerating. 12 inches between your legs. You weren't kicking
I'm
his
not
seat.
kicking his
What
seat.
it was
No.
turbulence on the plane. And so I looked at him, and this time I had enough, and I says, she wasn't kicking your seat. She goes, well, my seat's shaking. I said, yeah, man, it was turbulence. You didn't feel the whole plane?
Yeah.
The flight attendant caught on to it. By the way, this was the best flight attendant of
one
all
of the
time.
I think it is the best flight attendant I think we've ever had.
In all the years of travel, the best flight attendant.
No, 24 years of travel.
And he crouches
now.
next to me. He goes, hey, is that gentleman giving you an issue? I said, no, it's okay. So he's just wondering why his seat was shaking. It was obviously playing. So I'll keep an eye on it. I could sense that he's a little bit on edge. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, out of all 25 years of traveling with you, that was actually the only incident I had, except for that redhead lady that we had years ago. She had too many Bloody Marys, and I actually bumped into her on the way up, and she gave me a dirty. Nasty. She gave me like this exhaust sound. She goes, "Excuse me," and I just turned her back and said, "Looks like you didn't have enough Bloody Marys. You want another one?"
No, we've had situations on airplanes where it's been very nasty and critical. Like I one time on a flight from Turkey to Houston. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is tough because this was rough on this poor lady. She sat next to me and we were having lunch and they brought us lunch and I opened the dressing for my salad and it spilled on her white pants.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like super apologetic, but we didn't speak the same language. She only spoke Turkish, and I didn't know. I just said, sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was super apologetic. So she gets up from her seat. She goes and finds the attendant. And so she tells the attendant in Turkish, this girl just spilled all this dressing on my pants. These are the only white pants that I have. And I know this because the assistant came over and she was like, this is what the lady said. She's very upset that you opened your dressing and it spilled on her pants. She's only got one pair of white pants and now they're ruined. And I was like, I told her, I'm so sorry. I just didn't realize it spilled over. I'm like, we were super tight.
Right.
Turkish Airlines is so tight.
Yeah.
It is really one of the hardest flights I think I've ever taken. I hate taking Turkish.
Then she requested that you compensate her for her pants.
She wanted me to pay for her new pants.
And I was on the other side of the aisle, so I was asking what was going on. The flight attendant told me. So I grabbed into my pocket. I pulled out some spare change. I said, here, give it to her. That's her compensation for the pants. Then the whole issue went away after that. I'm such an ass.
You really are.
I was such an ass, but you know what? It was honestly, I remember that. It was a lot of turbulence.
But you know what?
On the
It
flight.
saved my ass.
Right. She left it long. So here, I think I pulled out like 64 cents of change.
No! 64 cents?
Yeah, that's all
Honey,
spare
no.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
No,
that was the truth. That's
Babe, she wasn't satisfied with 64 cents.
I don't care if she was satisfied. That's all she was getting.
I should be drunk before I get on a plane with you. I don't know how I freaking managed to get on a plane with your ass. I really don't.
You pretend like you don't like it, but you really do. I think that shit's entertaining.
Yeah,
It's
not entertaining. I'm on pins and needles. And then finally, when the flight takes off, I'm like finally breathing. But oh gosh. All right, Jamal, let's get to the episode that we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's all.
That was a preamble, folks. We were just warming up.